you all a happy holiday and a safe and enjoyable new year. Would like to thank, yeah, we have an echo.
He has to mute himself.
I would like to take this time to thank commission staff, our fiscal staff, our clerk, our legal counsel, as well as the office of the CFO. I'd like to thank also the office of the CFO and all of the various departments that have joined us throughout the year and helping us to do our work here at the commission. And so we, want to thank you and looking forward to the upcoming year and continuing the great work in progress. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item B, approval of the minutes from the December 10th meeting.
Motion is in order. It's moved and supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? This action stands approved. Next item.
One moment, Chair. Next, moving to item D, unfinished business. There is none listed. Moving to item E, number 1 under new business, requesting commission approval of a resolution authorizing the transfer of $25,907,485 to the county general fund for fiscal year 2024-2025.
Who's here to speak to this? The mic isn't on. Yeah.
Thanks. Good morning, Commissioners. Jean-Pierre Adams, Chief Deputy Treasurer from the Wayne County Treasurer's Office, and with me is.
Good morning, LaShonda Thomas, Financial Consultant.
Thank you. Can you please give an overall presentation as it relates to what you're bringing before us today, as well as, how is it looking for the future?
Okay, great.
If that's
What we're
possible.
bringing before you today is the surplus declaration resolution. This is something that we do annually. The surplus declaration is declared after the end of the prior fiscal year, after September 30th, and it is for the current fiscal year. The treasurer does an analysis of the funds in the DTRF, and at the end of the fiscal year, and at that time, he declares the surplus, which is then transferred over to the general fund.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask commissioners if there's any questions. Once again, I want to thank the Treasurer's Office for transferring this funds into the general fund. It will definitely come in helpful for the citizens of Wayne County. Thank you. We're going to take one motion, one action at the end of the agenda.
This is the only action item, Chair.
Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, the other one, information. Okay, at this time, a motion is in order.
I move approval.
Been moved. Is there support?
Support.
Been moved and supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, this action stands approved.
We are now moving to item 2 on the addenda, discussion of an amendment to the subrecipient agreement with the Wayne County Land Bank Corporation to continue the blighted property demolition project.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darcel Brown, Chief Assistant to the Deputy CEO. Happy holidays to everyone. As many of you all know, we had a total of 5 ARPA contracts that needed approval before December 31st. And 3 of the 5 contracts made it to committee for approval. And I want to thank Felicia Johnson, Commission Counsel, as well as Commission staff for getting this discussion item on the agenda for us. So we have 2 outstanding contracts because of a miscommunication that it wasn't noted that they were priority items. They came to you all this morning, the discussion portion of it. So I'll hand it over to Hassan to tell a little bit more about these items, and then I'll come back and tell about our plan to have them approved. Thank you.
Good morning, respected body. I would like to thank commission staff for all your hard work and helping us get this in front of you all today. Wanted to talk to you about these two specific items as they're part of a larger whole in regard.
One moment. Madam Clerk, would you read the next item into the record?
Sure. Item number 3, discussion of a subrecipient agreement with the Fisher 21 Lofts LLC for the rehabilitation of the former Fisher Body Plant in the city of Detroit.
Thank you. So with these two projects specifically, I'll walk you through in terms of what they are. The first is a project that's already been approved by commission. It's an amendment to that contract, the Wayne County Land Bank Blighted Property Demolition Program. What we want to do with that is take the source from where right now it's underneath the post-ARPA dollar, the revenue replacement bucket dollars, right? The general fund special accounts dollars, as we like to call them, and turn those into SLURF and turn that into a SLURF project. Part of that is when you look at the other projects of what we're trying to do to make sure that we're doing everything that we need for compliance in terms before the end of this year, that will free up dollars in the revenue replacement side for us to move some funding in that aspect. So this project is a project that's already been approved by commission. It's simply an amendment to the contract of the source of the funding for the project from the revenue replacement bucket to the SLURF bucket. And part of that is it's an internal project that's housed here. We can make sure it's on the timeline to make sure that the dollars are spent by the 26 deadline, the 2026 deadline. We can make sure we have eyes on that. The next project, the Fisher 21 Lofts, we had a remainder of dollars of SLURF that needed to be obligated before the end of the year. And when we were looking at projects that were best suited to be within the SLURF bucket rather than the post-ARPA bucket, the revenue replacement bucket, this project was the one that made the cut, in the sense was the best fit for this. Due to the fact that it already had ARPA dollars already involved in the project, it's got funding from the state level, cities level, a lot of different layers, but also the timeline in terms of the finishing is also meeting the deadline for our ARPA requirements for the 26 spend. This project is looking to add about 433 residential units, 44,000 square feet of commercial space, which will create housing, business opportunities, as well as green space, and then be a catalyst for economic revitalization for the area surrounding it. The total cost of this project is $155,482,731. The community's contribution to this has been $27,650,000. Contributions from other partners are $125,332,731 or $125,332,731. And our contribution at the county will be $2.5 million. So $2.5 million going into a project of a total cost of over $155 million. With that, that is why we chose this project to be within the SLURF bucket and why we're bringing it forth in front of you today. So those are the two projects, the methodology behind it, and happy to answer any questions.
At this time, I would ask, are there any questions? Commissioner Marecki and then Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So did the city of Detroit put money into this?
Yes, so they put in, and Lauren, if you want to come in and talk about their contribution specifically.
Yeah, hi, DeLorean Holmes, Economic Vitality Division Director. So for the community partners, I had the 27.65 million. You had the state with MEDC coming in with, I want to say about $15 million between CRP and their RAP program. And then the city of Detroit did a ARPA loan with an affordability agreement, a period on the loan for $6.9 million.
The loan?
It's a loan that is forgiven after the affordability period of the contract, so.
Thank you.
The state, for MEDC, they came in with $15 million between their RAP and CRP. CRP, the Commercial Revitalization Program.
Commissioner Anderson.
So the city of Detroit's portion is a loan? That's the only thing?
So it is the way the city of Detroit does their funding mechanism is it's a loan based on the affordability agreement. So after the affordability agreement ends, the money's forgiven.
Who owns the property right now?
The developers, and I believe they are here. Yep.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good morning, honorable body.
And is this it's going to be in private hands, right? Entirely when the project's complete?
Yes.
So the project is 100. If I might ask, how much are you putting into this project?
So we're doing two pieces. So directly into the project will be $15 million and then setting aside $5 million additionally to support local contractors so that we can have for small contractor participation. So the main thrust of our process is supporting them financially. We buy their materials and pay them weekly, and then we're reimbursed by the draw. And so that's gotten us up to 77% Detroiter participation.
Again, just to make sure I'm clear, the city of Detroit's portion is a loan. And Hassan, I think you said it was being paid back in pieces? Is
No,
that-
please, never, please, DeLorean, clarify that.
The city of Detroit's contribution, the way they structure theirs is as a loan based on the affordability agreement. So there will be no payments back because of the duration of the affordability period for a set aside amount of units in the development.
For all this investment, are there going to be some benefits to the community? Is it going to be entirely the affordability rent?
No, actually, the benefits to the community have already been started. So there's a large project across the street, Fortescue. They actually conditioned their purchase and starting of a factory and bringing 200 engineers to the city on the blight being removed at Fisher. And so there was a large push for us to start early. So we purchased the property last December and started right away, both to give them confidence to move forward and bring those 200 jobs, but also to make sure that, so 75 and 94 is the most traveled freeway intersection in Michigan. So it makes this the most visible blight. And we wanted that cleaned up before the NFL draft. That was what the city and state challenged us with, and we did so. So it was fully a construction site. It looked good for the draft.
What property is that? Is that one of the former factories?
Yes, it was the former Fisher 21 body factory. And so it's that big white building right at 75 and 94.
And Richard,
Thank you.
Introduce
Thank you
yourself
very much.
for the record. Just
Please excuse me. So my name is Richard Hosey, and this is our managing member, Greg Jackson.
Thank you.
And so I think staff wanted to, okay, before staff, I'll go to Commissioner Badon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Looking at this rendering here, is this the building that you see when you're getting off 75 onto 94? That's on the right side when you're driving?
that is correct.
So 433 residential units. How will these units be leased? As Commissioner Anderson asked, is this going to be like income-based to help people for affordable housing?
So with the city of Detroit's affordability agreement, and Richard can correct me, I believe it's 65 or 63 units in it that will be affordable set aside, and I believe it's a 600-month term for the affordability.
So these units will be strictly leased out, not being sold individually. It's not like a condo complex.
Correct.
And 44,000 square feet of commercial space assuming on the main floor. We're attracting like national tenants. We're trying to get, or people locally, like a mom and pop shops, if you will. I don't know who would be able to answer that. Just curious.
Concerning the 44,000 square feet, our hope is that we would attract local entrepreneurs to the space. one of the things we're really excited about is that we want to attract a supermarket because it's largely a food desert over in that area, and there's a great need for food and food services. We would like to have maybe one or two national tenants, maybe in a small space, just to add some pizzazz, I'll say, to the facility. But the intent would be really local entrepreneurs opening shops.
Drugstore, a pharmacy, or something along.
Exactly, cleaners.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Yes, and actually to that point of affordability, what does the rents look like? What does that mean?
I'll hand it over to
Sorry.
Richard. I do know some, but I don't want to.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. So the project was large enough that there was a community benefits ordinance agreement, and so we laid out with the community benefits in the city that of these units, 2 of them would be at 50% AMI for 2-bedroom units, and so that's an apartment that would go for about $900 at the 50% AMI after the utility allowance. That would otherwise be a couple thousand. And then we would have along the spectrum some studios, some 1-bedrooms, and some 2-bedrooms, 80% AMI. And so those would max out at, for a 2-bedroom, maybe $1,400 or $1,500 under today's things after the utility allowance.
So the majority of the 63 units will be over 1,400?
So no, because they'll spread across the studio. So that will be the highest of those. So that's the 80% AMI. So it's really targeted at being affordable for that workforce housing that's currently, heading out of Detroit. And so that retention, and then there's 2-bedrooms at the 50% AMI. So that's very low income, designed to take, maybe $1,500 a month off the rent.
Right, I'm just trying to clarify the 63 units that are available. What's the average rent for the 63 units?
Yeah, so if I did
Each,
the average rent, excluding the 50% AMI, because those are so low, I don't want to use that and throw you off. Maybe I would say about $1,300.
Thank you.
And also, but I also want to clarify for when you're looking at 63 units at different centers of AMI, the average is going to be skewed just because you're basing it off of certain targeted areas. So you got the high end and then going all the way down to 50%, right? So I just want to make sure that that's clear that we're targeting all in this project, all spectrums of the needs are being targeted.
And then how will the 63 units be? Is there a lottery, or how are you determining who will be able to rent those units?
Yeah, so
Because that's going to be high demand.
oh, absolutely. But we follow the fair housing rules, so it really is first come, first served for the qualified people. So so the income qualification will be kind of the thing that they have to get out the way. But it'll be first come, first served with one caveat. So in our community benefits agreement, we agreed to market it to the local area residents first to make sure that they had first bite at the apple.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Baydun?
Sorry, I forgot to ask this question earlier. What about from your perspective as a developer? It's a project that's going to cost about 155 million. In terms of property taxes, are you getting a tax break? Is there some kind of an agreement with the city of Detroit as far as the property taxes or the assessments?
Thank you. So there is an agreement. There is not an agreement associated with the assessment because that happens throughout. But there are 2 abatements. There's the Neighborhood Enterprise Zone abatement and the Obsolete Property Rehabilitation Act abatement. There's also the brownfield tax increment financing. And so we've overlaid all three of those, and that will help keep the property taxes where we're able to make the project feasible.
Good to know. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Commissioner Marecki.
I would, when you complete this, if you would invite us to see the end result, I'd love to come.
Absolutely. As all ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings for all the projects, we make sure to get it out to all the commissioners.
Also, what we're going to talk about, I guess, through the Economic Development Committee, the entire commission of actually going on tour as you embark on it. There's a couple, like the Jefferson project, there's a number, Jefferson School, things I think commissioners need to see firsthand, these projects. I think that would be good.
Gladly, gladly.
Thank you.
We would be excited to show you.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Oh, any additional questions? Any additional questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Madam Clerk?
We are now returning to the agenda for item F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I know of none.
Next item, item G, public comments.
At this time, Madam Clerk, I would like for you to open up the mics. And I would like to ask anyone who is online or joining us by telephone, if you would like to address this committee at this time.
There are no hands on Zoom and no emails were received.
I would like to ask anyone present here this morning, if you would like to address this committee. Is there anyone present? Is there anyone present? Public comment is closed. Next item.
Item H, adjournment.
Motion is in order. Moved, supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the meeting stands adjourned. Thank you.